And then I ate my boogers. It was
Yeah,
weird.
that's what happened. Yo, we're live. What's going on, everybody?
Oh,
What,
how you been?
what are you doing except for booger bomb in the stream here?
Oh, not actually. Well, I got to make a video on it, but I figure I might as well do it here while we're live with everybody. I had a company reach out to me about maybe being part of their affiliate program, which
Yeah.
I've not done. I tried with Amazon twice and it lasted like days because they said I did something wrong. I'm like, okay, kiss my ass. And then I was done. Joshua Bishop, what's up? Jamie True, that's a great deal on that triple hammer, by the way. Robert G, how the heck are you? But I have not decided whether I want to do an affiliate program. I figured I'd let the people decide.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm gonna let you guys know really quick, um, because the first couple of seconds of this is pretty important. What we're going to be doing. So we have the Klein here, and this is the VDV 500-063, and this is way better than the fluke could ever be. And I'm going to address that because I have the fluke, and I'm going to tell you why you want this toner, how to use it, and we're also going to be taking apart receptacles when we're cutting wires. That way we can simulate a short or yeah, sure, we'll short this out live. I'll make a spark for you guys. We'll short this out live. We're going to trip this off. So you can see over here behind my bandsaw, right there. Yeah, you can see that green light. That
yes,
plug is on right now. So that plug or this plug, whichever one feeds it. So we're going to show you how to backtrace. So maybe you've gotten to a job site, you're trying to figure out what the heck somebody did, and you're trying to verify the circuits because you're taking over a job because people in general suck nowadays. So you're taking over a job and you want to make sure everything's connected. We're going to show you how to use this toner to verify that everything's properly connected so you can figure out where circuits go. We're going to show you guys how to find circuits that are off. We're going to show you how to do it safely. We're going to use all the PPE. We got all the tools. I've got my 1,000-volt setup here. So, because we are going to be working on energized circuits, we're going to show you the PPE to use, and we're going to show you how to use these because these can be pretty tricky. I've been told I have the best video on YouTube for circuit tracing, and I don't doubt them. That's why I made the video. And yeah, let's get into it. So, just so you guys know, I do have affiliates for Kylie's. Tools and Souls was talking about affiliates. These are an excellent value if you need leads right now. I think it's like $40 for the Kylie set, and it's got a lot of features. The Fluke is like 200, maybe 150 actually, and you get two. I think you get like 4 or 5 with Kylie's, and yeah, so far so good. So that's TAT15 is the promo code. But yeah, what were we talking about? Your affiliates?
well, and I haven't decided whether I'm actually going to do it or not. But I've thought so. A company, a rather large retailer, reached out to me and they said, "Well, we really like what you do." Apparently, they don't talk to me very much, but they really like what you do, and we thought maybe your followers, your subscribers, or whatever would benefit if you left links for products in the descriptions and whatnot whenever I do a video for that retailer. Now,
Yeah.
uh, I'll be honest with you, I don't do a whole lot with that particular retailer, but I do on occasion, especially when I do the deal videos and whatnot. So
Right.
I would get a very small 1% commission for everything that you guys would buy from them. But I don't know, like I rather enjoy the fact of not being sponsored by anyone, not being supported by anyone. I pay for everything myself. But as I have grown a little larger between YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, I have a following somewhere around 100,000 people now.
Nice.
So
I'm seeing if I can make y'all seasick here. So bear
way
with
to
me for
go.
a second. We got our Klein 1000 volt. What's cool about this is you can flip that right there, pop it out, and flip up your
Flathead.
flathead or your Phillips, depending on what you're doing. Is that clear to you? Because my phone is in half and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it looks
These
all right.
Samsungs. All right, let's do this for now.
No, Joshua, it is not Menards. I wish.
That's, that's probably better for now, right?
Yeah, it looks good.
No.
But since as I was saying, since I have gotten a little bit larger, um, and folks keep asking me, "Hey, buy this tool, or whatever, test it." Well, I've got to look for ways to kind of offset some of that cost.
Yeah.
I've spent probably in the last 3 months
I'm going to show you
four
a
or five
quick tip
grand.
real quick. Yeah, man, it's expensive for sure. Quick tip on removing a panel cover. What I like to do, I like to hold from the top, pull straight up. You can try to pull it straight out, but I have way better. I open a lot of panel covers all the time. I find it a lot easier to pull straight up, and then that way this thing can't teeter at all. If you try to pull it off with two hands like this, you could possibly get a teeter going on. I like to just tilt it straight up, and
Hmm.
then once it's off the breakers, pull it away.
That's a good tip.
Here's another good tip. Before we get into this panel, this is the federal panel. Okay, so um, the thing with federals is that they won't insure your house anymore for new insurers with these panels.
Hmm.
There's no overcurrent protection here. So before I did all this, what we had was nothing. We had run the meter directly to here with no shut off, no disconnect, no anything. And these things don't like to trip. And there was no overcurrent protection here. So there's no way to actually trip the breaker. So kind of crazy. This is fed from an 80 amp breaker. It could be fed from a 100. I fed it from an 80 because of the length and extra safety. Yeah, these are bad news. Don't do anything you see in this video with a federal panel in your house. We're gonna try and trip the circuit
All right.
actually live. We're gonna short it out because
And
we ain't scared.
Josh, I don't think Makita will ever sponsor me, nor would I want him.
Yeah, because we ain't scared. I mean, we're gonna do some crazy stuff in there, but not yet. Let me show you what we got. When you're doing this, you should wear a face shield when you're opening a panel. There's a balaclava in here, and that's goes around your head, full face. Then you put that on, and then of course you got your gloves usually. So always wear your gloves like this thing says to do. You got the date that they were tested right there, and then you've got your size. You got your leather protectors, and once you have these gloves, you're going to find it really useful to have longer extension leads because your gloves consume so much space.
Hmm.
So what these do, I can figure this out. Yeah. Regular leads here.
Mm.
That's your extender. That's your prong. And I like these because they twist up and down.
Yeah.
This is all fluke, not coyotes. If you're going for extreme quality and you're doing a lot of testing and things like that, fluke. If you're in the field and you're working on a house, whatever, coyotes, man. So this is so expensive now. All right, back to this. As I close, we're still there. Yeah, we're still there.
Yeah. It just
All
took
right.
you a second. So I'll need an arc
Okay,
flash.
so first we want to show you what circuit we're working with. I already know it's this circuit, but I'm going to show you how to find it. So you can get You can get a bunch of different ones. Klein has one. They're all generally terrible. This one works pretty well. This is an ideal. And certain brands have really good products. This is an ideal meter. It's just okay.
Hmm.
It's been banged around. This is a good meter, but when you're going for something you want reliability for, I don't usually think of ideal. I don't think of Klein for a meter, and generally ideal doesn't really make that great of tools, but this is a pretty good option. Here we go. There, one's a hot, one's a neutral. This is actually our tester. So this, when we turn it on, will correspond with that. So what you do is you walk over here to your panel. Now, it's a little bit easier to do with the dead front on, but we're beyond that now. What you want to do, you want to start from left to right, and you want to go in a counterclockwise motion, or clockwise. Wherever one you go, you want to do a loop around, and then by the time you finish one loop, by the time you come back down, it's going to find the breaker. So we're going to go here. We're going to go on the face of the breaker. It's going to beep on a lot of them. Still coming around. It's going to beep on these. And then it's going to find the breaker that it's looking for. Right there. So that's our breaker. Or maybe it's that one. I can't remember. Either way. I can see the lights off. So what we're going to do, we're just going to do this. Yeah, it was the one below it. Yeah, so it was this one. Depends when you look at the camera.
Just
It's this one. So it gets you really close. It's found the breaker now. Yeah, now we can go check out the circuit. So power's off now. Power's off. You see the power's off. So we found the circuit.
Yes.
See, apparently they backstabbed my house, which is terrible, but it doesn't matter. We're about to do way worse things to this thing.
Kinky.
We can get our Kaiwi too. This is a very inexpensive tester that works really well. You can see we still have power here because we have like 10 circuits on this wall alone in this garage. It's pretty crazy. You can use these, but I wouldn't use these to verify the power is off. What this is good for is to verify the beeping, go flip the breaker, verify the beeping, then get a real meter, whatever it is, and verify the voltage. We still have not verified the voltage is off. I'm still not satisfied. Just because this light's off and this thing's not beeping does not guarantee that this is not hot. So we're not going to put our dick beaters anywhere in there. Yeah.
So it's
what I want to do, I want to cut one of these wires to simulate that we lost to neutral. And I want to show you that this will turn off. But first, I think I want to short this out. What do you guys think? I need some in the comments below.
I just want your hair to turn into popcorn as you convulse on the floor. Whatever that takes.
Let's get a poll going.
You know, you can actually
if you want me to short it out live, say short in the chat.
You know, you can make a poll on YouTube. You can go in. What's that?
Just say short in the chat.
Nobody yet. So Josh asked about how we're going. It's going all right. A little boring right now, but things are starting to pick up.
I'm trying to find something that I want to short it with. I guess I'll just use a piece of wire. That's kind of boring though.
And Mr. Bunny Lamakins says you always check if it live.
Always.
Well, we are live.
Yeah, we're already live. What do we want to do? Oh, dude, should we short it out with the flex rear handle? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. No. You're like, no. Not a bolt.
Short it out with a wrench.
With a wrench. I really like these wrenches, dude. These ones pivot and they lock.
Yeah.
And they're just great. If you're installing beam clamps or something,
Is that
and
a
you're in
husky?
the upper of the corrugate, and you've got a beam clamp with the 5/8 at the top, or if you're a 1/4 inch, you're going to have a 3/8, I think, for the beam clamp head. These are awesome because they lock like this, and you can get in between that corrugate, and you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about them flopping all around, and they just stay right on top of that beam clamp head. One thing about beam clamps, you got to have the 13 point. You can't use a 6 point on a 5/8 beam clamp.
Okay.
Sorry, guys, I'm a nerd when it comes to
Renegades. No, it is not DTFO. I mean, I
I
would
don't
love
want
it.
to short a crescent.
I'll be honest with you. I have too loud. I have also talked, at least ancillarily, just on the outside. I have talked to TTI about a potential partnership, but they have not. Like I haven't pursued it, and other than our initial conversation, neither have they.
Random, hold your phone.
And if I get TTI, there's a whole lot more rigid. Farm and Fleet, are you guys just gonna guess all night? No, it's Lowe's. I'll save us the trouble. It's Lowe's. Lowe's reached out to me. They sent me a direct message. I like the gloves, and anything that covers your face is cool.
Please turn the power on first.
What'd you say, Spaceman?
Understand that the breaker here, they're designed to trip within so many cycles in a second. You got 60 cycles in a second. We're trying to clear within about 7 cycles, so very fast. When you go after these breakers and you start getting above here, this is no longer a little spark. This is a full-on explosion, shrapnel.
Just
Yeah,
call it a
down.
bad day.
It's a bad day. Guys, change your drawers. You know, all that
Maybe
stuff.
you do.
So, I don't really know if we're going to be able to get a good one.
Yeah, that looked good. That's a good spark. Oh, double Sparky.
Ah, good things we're off. I don't think we're off yet.
No, so TTI had talked to me about Milwaukee specifically, wanting me to test some of their stuff.
It still works. All right, so we got 1, 2, 3.
It looks that way.
Let me see here.
Sparky mixed sparkle pants. Acting like 480 3-phase. Yeah, Jerry. Hey,
All right,
when
let's
it's
switch
your
it.
life, you take it seriously. Like me, I have no qualms watching him.
What are we doing here? This one. Yeah, this one. Okay, so
Choo.
push back. Yeah, we got 1, 2, 3. 3 to trip that breaker. Let's go see if it's tripped.
All right.
And the breaker is tripped. So turn it back on, turn it back off. Looks like it still works. We're going to leave it off, and we're going to verify that the power is still off.
Josh, you're not supposed to do that stuff, buddy.
Oh, man, I had the GoPro facing. I didn't even have it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, yeah, we could have told you.
No, that'd have
We
been
could have
cool.
told you, but we didn't.
It's all good. All right, so that's okay. It happens.
You haven't done anything but teach people what not to do.
That is correct. Do not do that.
You'd be surprised at how many of the TikTok and Instagram experts tell you just to short it out.
Oh, you know what? We could do this. Oh, yeah, you don't want to short it out, man.
Went next a second wire on 277 3-phase. It made a bang. The other guy in the scissor lift with me wanted to throw me out. No, you do not want. Actually, it's bad for like everything involved to short it out.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, especially on the main side. But, yeah, as you can see, it takes 3. three shorts just to trip it. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, my bad.
What you need is one of these headsets that you could just throw on your
No,
head.
I disagree, sir. I disagree.
66 kilovolts. My brother had the main breaker off and went to cut a wire with a steak knife. Sign of a true professional right there. Although all the power was off, there was a box mounted on the back side of the column wire went through the back of a breaker box live. Dang.
All right, so what I like to do here is switch to continuity here
Mm-hmm.
and then verify that my leads are connected to the meter properly. You can hear it beeping. So that's
You know
one
what?
good way to test your meter before you switch to volts. And then you want to test this on a known live source, yada, yada, yada. We know the breaker's off and stuff, but yeah, typically you would go find an extension cord, whatever. Verify your meter still works. And then we're going to go hot to ground here. You can see we have 0 volts there. And you want to go, well, that's neutral, sorry. Hot to neutral, and you want to go hot to ground, which is right here. And verify we also have 0 volts there. And yeah, now we're safe to touch it. So what we can do two things, okay?
Uh-huh.
This is typically how you would find this. We would have a loose neutral, for example. So we're just going to go ahead and take this neutral off, which hopefully feeds the plug over here, because that's what we're trying to simulate. Trying to simulate a lost neutral. So let's do that. We know the power's off.
Make sure the power's off. What's up, Ricky? Glad to have you here.
All right, neutral's off. I don't recommend wiring stuff like that. People do it all the time. This has held up for 20 years now, at least. That's not something I usually do. All right, so let's turn the power on and see if we still have power over there. Wrong one. Right one. Oh, I guess that one works. Too late.
Left one.
Yeah. Now, one thing you want to do, you want to get in a really good habit of doing, is you want to kind of do this motion here. I don't know if you can see this, but when you turn the breaker on,
Can't
you want
hear
to look
you.
away. You can't hear me?
No.
You want to look away when you throw the breaker. You want to do something like this. That way you don't blow your face off.
Now
Yeah.
The man blew us all. Anyway, so I just want to make sure this is clear for everybody. Are you saying to look away when the face is off or whenever you turn the breaker back on?
Whenever, not just when the face is off, especially when the face is off. Actually, you really shouldn't even throw a breaker when the face is off. Let's be honest.
That's true. But I
All
wanted
right,
to
so
make sure we were clear.
we have power here. We have power here. We even have power here. But what we don't have, what we do have, dang it. Hang on. That's one way to do that.
What we do have is Juanita Pratt's in the house.
Oh my goodness. All right, we took off the wrong one. Let me fast forward this here. Hang on.
All right. Need a wrench?
No. No, we just need to find the oh my goodness. You still there?
Yeah.
All right. Get used to me closing the screen 27 times.
All right. By the way,
You know what? Ha 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 ha. We actually have to cut this in half, obviously, because it's still one loop. It's so obvious now, guys. I'm just not very good at breaking things.
Paul W said next time just stick a fork in the socket and see if it's still on.
You probably wouldn't even get shocked, you know. I'll show you something real quick.
Electrical 101. A good day, everyone, from the Philippines. Well, thank you, Marco. We appreciate you
How's
being
it
here.
going? All right. This is kind of fun. You can see we're energized there. Okay.
Yeah, that's the bad day.
Right. I'm going to touch it. There we go. We're touching it. See how I'm energized now?
Yeah.
When I let go of this, it's going to stop beeping
Oh,
because I'm not
yeah.
grounded. So it's like a bird on a high wire. As long as you don't touch them both or you don't touch another source. My shoes, these are Reebok, and they are EH certified. I wasn't touching anything metal here. And I'll just show you again here with my finger here. And I'll touch it again. There you go.
Mm. I just I like to make sure that everyone is clear on this. He is a trained professional. If you are a homeowner, you're not a trained professional, don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that. All right. We got our hot here. We got our hot here. Everything's still hot. Okay. Now, what's different about this scenario is we're still hot here. Okay. But okay, I gotta shut that off. You're gonna see here, no light. No light. But
Uh-huh.
power's on. So that's one reason why you want to verify with a multimeter, not a hot stick. You could
Uh-huh.
have the hot off and the neutral could still be connected. And you get between the neutral. Just a bad situation. So just so we're clear, 0.10 of an amp can kill you. An LED in the right situation across your heart. 0.30 will absolutely fry it. It's all about your path. I'm against a metal table, yes, but this metal table is floating on wood, and there's nothing electrically touching this. Sure, you know, if you wanted to final destination this, I'm sure this could make contact,
Yeah.
energize this, but we're not touching anything hot over here. We're
So
being
hold on.
safe.
Hold on. We got a couple of questions, or we got a question here. So
What we got?
Ricky Perkins asks, what is the reason for a dedicated circuit, the plugs with the triangle, and a dedicated ground?
Okay, so when you have an isolated ground, which is what you're talking about. Let me see if I can bring it
I'm
up
with
here.
you, Jamie.
I'll bring it up here. Hang on,
I
I
hope
don't
you
want
guys
my.
can't hear me eating gingerbread.
I can hear you eating gingerbread, sir.
And Shaka Gillis with a $2 super chat says
Hey,
people who
thank you.
use Ryobi should grab both at the same time.
Ha 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 ha. Awesome. Okay, well that's not. I get a zoom in. Okay,
Well, the
there is our
problem with that
isolated.
is,
There's our isolated ground receptacle. Okay,
mhm,
that's what we're talking about. You get to a different view of it.
20
I don't
amp
know.
right there.
Yeah. Hang on a second because that's not what I wanted. Okay,
Hey, can
here we
you
go.
walk them through the different, how to tell what the amperage is just by looking at the face?
Yeah, or you just in general, if it's got that dash there where it goes horizontal,
Hmm.
that's 20 amp.
Yes, sir.
All right, right there. That ground lug is only connected only to those ground holes.
Hmm.
That's it. The thing is completely isolated from the box. So this is what you call the yoke. And your yoke, which gets mounted into,
What a yoke.
oh, I don't have an electrical box. Hang on.
Don't look at his stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Don't look at the mess.
It's fine. That's not metal, but
And those
usually
are
you would have a
15.
metal box,
Hmm.
and you would have two grounds. You would have one ground that's dirty, one ground that's clean. Your dirty ground, just like whenever I was touching that lug and it was energized, I was energized. That wire that connects to the box is the dirty ground, and that's designed that if any current gets on your ground, if this here was to make contact with the side of the metal box and stay there, it wouldn't trip the breaker, just like how I didn't get shocked. The breaker's not going to get tripped. The circuit's going to stay on.
Hmm.
And what that ground wire does is it allows your breaker to trip whenever the ground does touch this box.
Yes, sir.
It puts it back on the neutral. So you have two grounds. You have one that's clean, that's not touching anything else except for the source. So that ground is going to go all the way back to the main of your building where the
Yes.
neutrals bond.
Yes, sir.
And the dirty ground is going to go to your sub panel.
Yes.
And your clean ground is going to come from that source where the neutrals bond and the grounds. And it's going to be isolated on an isolation block inside your sub panel.
Yes, sir.
And then you're going to come directly off that isolation block with the rest of your conductors, because you're going to have a double ground, two running in a pipe, or double ground MC, whatever you got going on, where you have two grounds. One's going to be dirty, landing on the dirty bar inside the panel,
Hmm.
which would look like this. So perfect example. This would be a good isolation block here. This is phenolic or whatever, plastic. And this neutral is not touching this case. But this ground is, because, well, it should. I haven't really opened. Yeah. Back there is a jumper that lands this ground to the case. So any current that gets on this case can get to our ground and trip our breaker.
Good.
So on your isolated ground, you would have a floating bar like this. Only your ISO grounds hit that, and then it goes to your plug. Your dirty ground also goes to your plug. The difference is the only thing that hooks up to your actual device, to your computer, whatever you're plugging in, right there, is going to be on the isolated ground. So it goes back to the source.
Yes.
What's really bad about this sometimes, and I see this actually way more than you would ever imagine, would be that there is no source to the ISO ground. Sometimes they just run it back to the sub panel, and it doesn't even have a spot. It's just sitting there completely isolated and
Yes.
floating with no reference to ground. And then you have things like this, cords that are not metallic, that are plugged in here. But remember, this ground doesn't go anywhere. The only thing that's really grounded is the box. And then you got these office chairs rolling around, rolling over cords and stuff. And there's literally nothing that can save you, because there's no reference to ground on anything. Not in this cord, not in anything, because the only reference to ground was at your box.
And that's why I take a baseball bat, a wooden baseball bat with me to work, just in case something happens. I'll help a fella out.
Knock them off, huh? All right, so back to what we're talking about. Power's still on.
I'm just saying, have you ever heard the phrase "keep it simple"?
Yeah.
All right.
Was that not simple?
It was rather wordy. You lost me at a point there.
Dang it. Well, the question is, did we lose any people, though?
I could lie to you and tell you,
Yeah.
but I'd rather tell you the truth.
All right, so neutral's off. If I was to touch this and this, I would send current from this finger here to this finger here.
And do that. Huh?
Yeah, it wouldn't be good. So you just be completing the circuit. So yeah, the neutral is still energized, but it appears that our circuit's off. So we're going to show you how to trace this out. And the first thing that I would want to do as a tech, you'd want to get your multimeter and verify that this still has power. So
Mhm.
let's do that real quick. So what I would do, we're actually going to use this guy here because it's really easy for you guys to see.
Renegade, that's all he's got. And yeah, I don't know, Jamie. I somehow I think she's looking at the life insurance policy going like, eh.
All right. Cool. We should be in auto mode, maybe. Yeah. No,
I don't I don't know what mode you're in.
you probably can't see me right now, can you?
Yeah.
There we go.
I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
not your face, which is why the stream's doing so well.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
The
actually fair.
less of us we see, the better.
Um, why are we in amperage? What's going on here? What is going
Mhm.
on? Well,
And with that, folks, he um, froze himself.
I'm still here. Having there we go. Okay.
And I'm like just in the background.
Yeah. So you get the notorious 27, 85 volts, 41, something like that. That's because there's no reference to ground. If we went here, that's how you verify you lost your neutral. You go to a known ground source right here. So in this case, we're going to use this yoke where we talked about being grounded.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to this hot in the receptacle. You're going to see here, we should get 120 if I could hold it still and show you on camera at the same time.
123.6.
There you go. So that's to ground to the hot. When we go to the neutral, it's in there. Yeah, 27, 85, something like that. It's literally floating around because it has no reference. So what you would do, you would go to the panel using this multimeter and this, you'd be able to find where this circuit's being fed from and go to this panel and start randomly flipping breakers. So we know it's this one.
Fancy like Applebee's.
Now we can verify the power's off, however you want to do that.
Yeah. Juan wants to know if you can send him a link to your private OnlyFans.
That's just where the sparks fly constantly.
Yeah. he I think he's got some sparks in
You
his
can see
eyes for you.
there we have no voltage there. Okay. And if you're worried about it, we can go here to the NCV.
Mm-hmm.
We can verify we have no NCV. We can go to a known live source and see if the NCV works, which it does. We can be double safe. We checked it with the meter. We checked it with the NCV. We're pretty confident we can stick our fingers in there. Then you'd want to start figuring out where things are plugged into. So typically you would start here, but for time wise in the stream and everything, we're going to pretend like this plug is that plug. So we would take this plug apart and pull apart the neutrals and grounds, and we'd start figuring out where the circuit starts and where it stops.
Yeah.
So we got our Klein counter. Let's talk about these really quick because this is really important. Okay.
So hold on, you got another question.
What's that?
So Ricky Perkins says you were absolutely clear on the isolated ground installation, but what is it used for? It is
So
not very common in residential, but are you more in commercial? And I am wondering why.
okay, so ISO grounds is for pretty much to eliminate the noise and other things that jumps on your AC systems. So if you've got a sensitive electronic computer, whatever it is, a lot of these cables and stuff don't have shields on them. And
Mhm.
you got sine waves. You're going to make me go into detail here. You have sine waves on AC that are going up and down like this. And you've got other frequencies and stuff. How often have you heard the buzzing on a piece of electronic that sounded like a hum?
Milwaukee
Uh,
Charger, every time I use it.
yeah. So stuff like that emits noise and it dirties up your clean power essentially. And when you don't have shields on certain things, you end up putting a magnetic invisible flux current that gets onto your circuit that you otherwise want clean. Because, for example, this right here, this is 120 volts in,
Hmm.
4.5 volts out. Okay. When
Mm.
you have a ratio like that, sensitive electronics, one extra volt is instead of 4.5, it's 4.1, for example.
Yeah.
You're dealing with ratios on transformers, things like that. So electronics can absolutely not go over voltage. They'll explode. One volt over, is huge. You need like a millivolt for this not to get, bad on your low voltage side. So you want the cleanest power possible where you don't have things getting introduced on your computer circuits, things like that. If that makes sense. That's not the best
Hmm.
explanation, but there you go.
Hello, Jack. And Juan wants to know, what is that Klein device that you're using?
Okay, the Klein device. This is the best one. Okay, I've had a lot of them. I've troubleshot a lot when you're the last guy on the job site and you're cleaning up everyone else's mess. You learn a lot very quickly, or you don't, and then they send you off to another job site. But I was the cleanup guy, so troubleshooting things like that is now part of my DNA. Um, this is the best one, the VDV 500-063, the best bang for your buck. This thing does everything. I've had the Fluke that is double the price of this. This is why you don't want the Fluke. It's very simple. This is a Klein here. I purchased the Fluke, and then I immediately went out and I purchased a separate Klein wand. And I use these in conjunction with each other. If you buy the Fluke, you're not going to be happy because you need something like this. And this stream is going to make a lot of noise. That's why I was waiting to do this until the end, until I had you guys hooked in to know what I was doing here. You're going to hear some irritating noises. So it is what it is. This is the example of a magnetic noise that would be on your wires that we can pick up with this device. And what this does, this inputs a noise onto your wire so that we can pick it up with this toner. And that's one reason, and another good reason why you want an isolated ground receptacle is because this noise won't be able to get onto your device. The noise will get onto the ground of the box, but it won't get on your computer. So there's another example of why you would want the ISO. All right, we're gonna turn this on and we're gonna hear some noises. You're gonna hear a tone first. You can trace with the tone and it gets louder, but the alternating one is my weapon of choice. So you make it tone. Now, this right here, this is single-handedly why the Fluke is junk. This light right here
Hmm.
is more important than any noise that you could ever hear. This light is going to tell you whether you found your circuit or not. And any toner that does not have this light is absolute garbage, and you're wasting your time and money. So what you're going to do, we're going to turn this all the way down like this, so we can barely hear anything. And you want to get close to your hot. Now you're going to see we're all the way down on this. We're going to roll this up or push it up, depending on if you have a scroll or you have a button. You're going to push up until you see this red light turn on. So we don't want to touch it because it'll make crazy noises. I'll show you that in a second. But we also don't want to touch the metal table. We're going to get really close to it without touching it, and we're going to push up until we see this red light. So that's one. One more. See where you're seeing that faint red light?
Yes, sir.
Just barely. If we turn this thing all the way up, like this, like a lot of people do, you can get really close to this and the light turns on. See how far away we are from that?
Yeah.
That's no good because you're getting a box with 800 wires in it. You're never going to find what you're looking for. So you want to roll this down, and if you're trying to listen to the noise, you're not going to have a good time because you're never going to find what you're looking for. You really need the light because the light will pinpoint and turn on exactly when you find the wire that you want. So see, they were barely getting the red. I like to turn up one more time, and now we're ready to trace. And you'll notice that it's not going to turn on when we touch the black. It might get louder, but the light's not going to turn on. See that? If we turn this all the way up and we go to this black, the light's going to turn on. And you don't want that. So we only want to trace a red wire, and you want to use this light to find what you're looking for and nothing else. No sound, no nothing. The sound is just to let you know you're getting close. You're looking at the light. And that's why this is the best set, because this and this come in a set for $70. This toner and their Junk Pros is $130. And then you're out another $50 on a proper toner. So one good feature when you think you found the circuit, this thing has a shorting feature, which is nice. So sometimes, and I'll show you when we hook this up, but if you short these together, you're going to hear that the noise will change. Usually. There you go. You can change it again. Sometimes it'll change tone if you get it really good. There you go. So while you're troubleshooting and stuff, if you think it's that wire and you know the power's off, you can short the wires together and then really verify you got the right circuit, because it's only going to tone on the one doing that noise, or the one that you think you found. This here is just a continuity thing. So this works just like a meter would.
Can't see it.
Sorry. This right here, this selection switch says continuity on it. See it? CONT right there.
Yep.
This just lights up when you touch these two together with this on. Sorry.
I made the mistake of calling my wife that once. I almost got put in the hospital for a week.
Yeah. So with continuity on, unless it's broken, this thing is pretty old. Usually when these are touching, that light will turn on. Oh, that's because we're not on continuity. What the heck is going on here? I think that's broken. Don't worry about that. Ignore that part. Also, right here, RJ45 for Ethernet, things like that. We're not worried about this. This had a good run, but I ended up having to buy this. And then I misplaced this and ended up buying this. This is better. This has where you can insert the wires in the bottom of this directly.
Yeah.
You can just push this button. Good for speaker wire, things like that. It has a light built in right there. It's really accurate. You don't accidentally mount the button. You got to hold it for a minute to turn it on. I'm a liar. You push the button once and it turns on instantly. The other nice thing about this is, I don't know if you can see that, but it uses AAAs. And you'd say, Robert, 4 AAAs is a freaking nightmare. Why would you have me buy this? Try finding a 9-volt in a pinch. Because this runs on a 9-volt. That runs on a 9-volt. This runs on a 9-volt. Hell, even my even that really nice meter runs on a 9-volt, and it drives me crazy. It's way easier to have AAAs than it is 9 volts. So This whole thing works on really common batteries. And I think I've only changed the batteries on it twice since I've had it. All right, same concept here. This one does a little bit more stuff. So yesterday I showed you can see here, there's your continuity there. This one works. You see we're attaching together. Are you editing, sir? Because we can hear you.
No, I was responding to a message.
Nice. There's your continuity there. And you got your tone. And it does everything that thing does, but better. So what we're going to do, we're going to clamp this. Also, really important, all the good ones have this. I seem to have lost mine. There's a loop here, usually, which is on this one. I'll probably be stealing it. This loop here will hang on to a wire, because usually there's more than one wire in a box. There's a hold onto your ground, so you can float these things in the air while you're toning. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go ahead and clamp to our neutral here. Let me switch. That one. This one. Not this one. Yeah, not this one. Oh my goodness.
You'll figure it out.
This one. We did it. First try. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, you hush.
Oh man, I use AAA in everything.
Okay, so we're gonna turn it on. We're gonna get a fine tuner. You
Right.
notice that it's the same thing. It's got the irritating tone. Push this, and then you've got your different tones. So it does different tone noises. I prefer the alternating, but if someone's using this tone, if you're a fire alarm contractor or something, your buddy's using this tone, you can use this tone so you don't get mixed up. It's got two different tones. Hang on a second. Please. There we go. All right. So the way you use this is a really common misconception. What you want to do with this black here, you absolutely have to get this on a known ground. And sometimes when you're tracing things, that can be kind of tricky because one, it might be new construction, so your grounds might not be fully hooked up back to a known ground source. In the past, sorry, I'm going to switch back to this phone because I feel like I can talk to you guys better. This one, that one, this one. All right. So in the past, what I've done whenever I was tracing stuff out, I actually ended up using some alligator clamps to the customer's oven because the hinge was exposed. So I dropped the oven door and actually clamped onto the hinge of the oven to attach this to. Sometimes you got to get creative. You have to find an established ground. If not, this is never going to work for you. Just like how this didn't beep on the black near as good as the red. If this isn't on a ground, you're wasting your time. So if you're in the middle of the yard, get an extension cord. If you're in the attic, get a spare piece of Romex. Like you have to clamp this to an actual ground. All right, so we're going to clamp this. We know this is grounded. Dude, we got so many beeps going on here. Okay, here we go. Let me switch back to here. That was dumb. Hang on.
I have the power.
Yeah.
I had to do it.
I don't blame me. Right in here. All right, so you can hear how loud it is now. It's because it likes that ground. We're gonna push that button there. It's gonna turn down the volume all the way. And then we're looking for this light here. So we're gonna push it up one more time. Getting a little bit louder. Push it one more time. One more. Are we ever going to get a light?
I don't
There we
know.
go.
We can't see it.
There we go. See the light?
Yes.
Yeah. So now we can clamp this to our neutral here. Now, this is why we picked the neutral. Okay. The neutral itself is hooked up to the ground in the panel. So what you would have to do, if I could ever get the right button here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there we go. What you would have to do, you have to go back to this panel. And if you've got a missing neutral or you got a plug that's down, expect a couple hours. I'm explaining this and I know what the problem is. And it takes an hour to explain it. What you're gonna want to do, you're gonna have to separate all these neutrals in here to really figure out what your wires are.
Mhm.
Or if it's your hots, well, make sure the breaker's still off. You're gonna want to,
Thank you,
make
Ricky.
sure all your power's off, take it off the breaker, things like that to trace it back. The chance of me finding this neutral is pretty high because this house is not wired great. So the neutrals are supposed to be isolated in here,
Yes, sir.
but I don't think they are really good in here. So yeah, we're gonna pick up on. Yeah, we're not gonna find what we're looking for. On our
Pretty
neutral at
bullshit.
all. But what we will find, because what's going to be in your box with your neutral is going to be your hot. So what you can do is you can clip to the hot.
Paul, you missed it. He already did the sparks thing with a wrench.
Let's see, did we get it? What's going on here? Oh, there we go. No, here. Yeah. So we're going to go back to this panel here as I switch this camera around. And you're going to see we don't have any light. That's the on light. The light we're looking for is up here. See it?
Yeah.
So we're really close to that breaker, but that's not the wire. That's not the wire. See where it's faintly turning on and off. You could probably go to one more click up once you really dialed it in. See the difference? We're on the wire directly below that breaker. But when we get on the right wire, look what happens. See how close we are? We're within a quarter of an inch, and it's just barely flashing.
Mm-hmm.
And when we find the wire we want, clear
Bright.
as day. When you get up here, it's kind of faint and flashing.
Yep.
That's how you would trace with that. Now, if you're on a construction site, forget the panel. If we're just trying to figure out if our helper did a good job, we can come over here. And we could say, okay, here's our wire here. We go to the next plug, go to the next box, go to the next box, and you can verify. And if you're wondering if it is the right wire, remember we can short these together and it'll change noise. So we could jumper these together with the thing.
Oh yeah.
A piece of wire here. Yeah.
All right.
I know the power's off, dude, but I'm still gonna check it.
I'm not saying a word.
All right, welcome back.
Well, thank you.
All right. See if we can get a Did we do it? It's kind of trying to change tone. I can hear the difference in it.
We can't.
Well, you're not important.
Well, that's true.
Let me see here.
It's what my wife says every time she tells me she's going to her boyfriend's house.
I'm just gonna short that directly across there. No, it's not gonna do it. Of course, we don't have it set on the right mode. Let's see. Does this one do it?
I do not hear the British police.
How do they? I don't know. This one should have the shorting feature. It says short there. Hang on. No, no.
I played that same game when I was a kid and made the same noises.
Yeah. Was that the Find the Rock game? When you're looking for the rock that your brother hid? Remember that game? No, it's
No,
me.
no, because he hit me in the back of the head with it. I knew where it was.
Oh. The continuity's on, but it's
Fuck
short.
that when someone doing work like that. PTSD.
We're not going to worry about the shorting thing, but I showed you on this how the shorting thing works.
Yes.
So some do, some don't. Maybe that one doesn't, but
Ooh,
yeah. So that is, I mean, that's pretty much how you'd use a toner.
Jamie's amazing.
The best way. So just remember, set it to your alternating, and then your toning based on the light.
Yes, sir.
And what else, man?
Oh no. But yes, Jamie, I love the rear handle saw. My one issue with it is I am left-handed, and it is truly a saw for right-handed people only. It doesn't feel natural when you're using it with your left.
That
It
would be
can't be
as
done.
soon as I grab the wire,
I mean, if you got shocked right now, I'm pretty sure the viewership would go way up.
Well, let me turn on that breaker.
All right. Anything for the fans.
You can actually see where this wire. See how it won't just. Well, actually, you're on this camera here. The wire won't just come off. It kind of melted on there.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because this damn thing's backstab. Look, so this is why you don't backstab. You think that's a good connection?
No,
Isn't that comforting?
it wiggles too much.
I mean, yeah. We I don't think we're gonna fix it though. I think we're gonna let it ride.
All right. It's your house, not mine.
Going to you know what? Actually, we're gonna use everyone's favorite.
Not a Wago.
Away go.
Find any Cyber Monday. Paul, you have not been checking out my community posts or my Facebook group. That's how I know.
Here's a lever nut. They are easy. I will give them that. But man, anything that twists like that, what's your thought on that? I know they're good.
I've already told you I don't like them.
I don't know.
I'm a wire cap guy.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, whatever.
I'm not on Facebook. No, I have a community post. I just did. I just put out a Cyber Monday deal. Well, it's Tuesday deal, I guess. I call it the Shaka Special.
We just backstab that back in there and pretend like nothing happened. Oh my goodness, dude, that's
It
so bad.
hurts my soul to watch
That
people
is
backstab.
so bad. I don't even know how I feel about that. I can't do that. We gotta at least wrap this one. That was pretty sketchy, even for me. In case you didn't know, that's what those are for. Makes a loop. Now you know.
Ricky Perkins says Wagos are big in Europe and he loves them.
Nice. I know it's not big in Europe.
Same thing that ain't big here in America.
Yeah, no, no change. I'm kind of jealous of the boxes, man. They got some pretty cool boxes in the UK.
Oh yes, but they
Mhm.
warm up quickly. Oh, I mean,
Hey, this thing came out. You witness to that?
yeah.
You see that?
Hey, you deserve it.
I think you're right. Hang on. I gotta. I mean, I was installing this in the most haphazardly way possible, but
I know.
just I don't know. You stay in there. I don't know, man. It came out. I don't know what to say.
I don't want one. The whole world uh, has seemed to get addicted to their phone and gossip. I don't want to join the crowd in this one. Hey, that's all right.
You know what I really like though, man? I really like this tool. This is the Bolt Claw, and this thing is awesome.
Yes, Renegade, you got to quit backstabbing. It's no good for you. It's no, in the long run. It's just like with people. You cannot have backstab. Tactics equals haphazard.
This is a wheel. I've had this for
Yeehaw!
15. No, at least 10. More than 10. More than 10
I
years. That's why it looks like this.
I can tell you right now that that is the preferred screwdriver, the Dukes of Hazzard. Whoever built that, I changed them all. Good. Was it the blue paint on the outlet OSHA approved? Absolutely, it
Oh,
was.
oh, listed blue paint.
Yeah, that's high quality lead paint. That's
We're
what
probably
it
gonna
is.
have to, just the nature of this box, dude. We're gonna have to like probably get longer screws because they're all stripped out now.
Oh, way to go.
But we have like 27 outlets on this wall or receptacles. So
The push on is cheap. Yeah.
yeah, that's good for now.
As long as you're happy with it.
I mean, it looks good for my house.
That's true. Your
How
house
often
does
do you
have
hear
you
that?
in it, so everything gets graded on a curve. Come on, I hit a Dukes of Hazzard joke on a Tuesday night. That's funny.
I thought it was pretty good.
Wait, I just noticed who painted the outlets.
The roller brush painted the outlets.
Just do what I do. Blame the kids.
The kids, yeah. Was she 5 at the time?
Yeah, I blame your kids too. Just go, boy, never meaning no harm. That's right.
There we
Remember,
go.
every time they did the jump, they had to yell. They
Yeah.
yelled, "Weehaw!" I know it was Yahoo. Don't try to correct me. I'm old, but come on.
All right. So recap. Um,
This is fast.
yeah, yeah. Fast recap. The recap on the whole grounding situation.
This will work.
What are you talking about? Are you adding commentary to what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was doing the recap. This
Oh,
will work.
yeah.
This is
The recap
faster.
on this grounding situation was that it actually doesn't have a reference to ground. This is floating,
The
and so is
wind.
this. So that's why the neutral actually did tone a little bit because they're
There
not
you go.
touching in here. These should have been touching from the get go because this was the main to the house,
Mm-hmm.
and they're isolated.
I
Yeah,
see.
cool. So now we're good though. They're already isolated, and then we bonded out there, so that works. What I was going to show you guys, see these neutrals here, how they're double lugged.
Well,
What you'll
no.
see on
I
an
mean, you're a
infrared.
little far away.
What really? How's that? There you go.
Wow.
Yeah. So what happens is this lug only grabs one wire, essentially.
Yes. Yes, sir.
And what I want to do on camera is show you that we can actually get more tightness on these. So, ready?
Yeah.
So, what was that? Almost a quarter more turn, half a turn.
I'd say
But each
quarter.
one. So I mean, if you're out there double lugging stuff, it's not gonna last. Um, it'll work for a couple of years, but eventually that lug is only going to grab one of those wires.
Mm-hmm.
And what it looks like on infrared, the the infrared camera will show a white spot on
BJ
one
and the
and
bear.
an orange spot on the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll have to upload a picture so you guys can see what an infrared camera looks like on that. But yeah, as soon as you put them on a separate lug, they instantly cool down to a normal yellow color. So
Mm.
yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you guys that next time. Well, before we go, if you guys haven't seen this, we'll talk a little bit about this because I told them I would. I don't have affiliate links for any of this stuff. They just send me stuff. I like tools, so they're like, "Hey, you want to talk about this tool and get it for free?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." This was like $120, and it's got a lot of features. One of the best features, though, is that you can use it like a plumb bob. You can see it's unlevel right now. Now it's level. You look on the ceiling, you got the X there and you got the X there. So this actually works as a plumb bob, whereas the last laser that I showed did not work as a plumb bob. So yeah, this one's rechargeable, and the pendulums move around until you lock them.
Yes, sir.
I've got $400 PLSs that don't do this. Of course, my PLSs are older, but the technology for the price now is just incredible. So, well, what else you got?
Nothing.
Did
Jamie
we
True
forget
wants you to.
anything?
No, you seem to cut it close. By the way,
What did
do
Jamie True want?
you know BJ and the bear?
I'm afraid to answer.
I know you know BJ's because you get.
Right. Yeah.
But do you know
Okay.
the bear? Is that what you do with the cop?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
BJ and the bear was an old television show about a guy that rode around the country in a semi truck with his pet chimpanzee. 70s and
Okay, that
80s
does sound
condenser.
familiar now. But okay, so what are you getting at?
This somebody left a comment. Mr. Bunny Lamekins here left a comment about BJ and the bear. So I was
Oh,
identifying with the viewer. And he also said, "Cool breaker box, Picasso."
Oh yeah, that's
Well, thank you, Marco. We hope you learned something.
yeah, appreciate it. Let me know if you guys want to see more stuff like this. You want me to short more stuff? I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that again. Do you guys find this helpful? We can talk about all kinds of stuff all day about electrical. Um, Went to a house the other day and they had a panel. I was releasing the service for it, just a service, and the sub panel itself was existing. So whenever I looked in the panel, I realized that why is this camera so small? I realized that the
Second from the right, or second from the left. Second from the left.
what is going on right now?
Second from the left.
I'm trying. There
There
we
you
go.
go.
I did it. That works. Okay. So I realized that the sub panel, the feeder to it, didn't have a ground. It had two hots and a neutral only. And I was like, you start a new panel. Where's the ground? Because the main panel was new, the sub panel was existing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, where's the ground? And he said, well, it doesn't have one. And I was thinking, BS, man, it's got to have a ground. So pretty much what we had was I'll draw it out real quick. Pretty much what they had was sub here,
Uh-huh.
and it only had 3 wires. And then it went to a 100 amp breaker here. And what we know about our grounds and neutrals is that they're bonded essentially at the main. So I had him open up this sub panel. What do you think I asked him about this sub panel specifically? When I found out that it was missing the ground wire. Anybody in the comments know what's important if you have a sub
How's it bonded?
that does not have a ground reference, only has 2 hots and a neutral. Got the ground bar, there's all your branch circuits coming in. You got your breakers, your branch breakers, and then you got your neutral here, which is connected there. Does anybody know what you'd want to see in this sub panel? Oh, wait a second.
All right. Like wiring lights separate from the outlets, so the lights don't go out when you plug some bad in shorts.
Yeah, I was happy to find that out too. I figured, see, I have all my lights ready. I didn't even have to turn that one on. I was ready for the lights to turn off, and apparently we have like 5 circuits on this wall, so that was cool. That's a different circuit. The one over there is a different circuit. These are on the same. That's on a different circuit. That's on a different circuit.
CNF CWP says, is the sub grounded?
No, the sub was not grounded. So there was only a neutral, an L1, we'll call it L2, and an L1. There was no ground wire going back to the source. This was the main. The sub panel had no ground reference. Now the sub was existing, so the contractors only played with this. This was their scope of work. Whenever I look at someone's work, I'm mindful about their scope because I can't make them fix the whole freaking house. Should we sometimes? Yeah, but you've been sent there. They've called you for a problem. You fix their problem. Inspector comes and then he's like, "Hey, I need you to do X, Y, and Z more." It never works out good. So I'm mindful of the scope. Subs existing. What do you think that I verified inside this sub panel?
I've been thinking that you would be verifying whether it's bonded, that it's not feeding back.
Yeah. So in this case, yeah, kind of. In this case, the best thing you can do, actually, unfortunately, is to bond your grounds and neutrals together.
Mm-hmm.
Because that way, if we had a plug here and we had a hot off of this breaker and we had a neutral also, went to this neutral bar, and we had a ground on the ground lug, and it was all to this box, okay? and our hot made contact with this box, we have a reference back through the ground, get back to the neutral, to come back to the source. These are bonded already. It's the main. This goes back to the meter. And then we go back through the neutral still in the weather head. You got the weather head here. The neutral over the pole inside the transformer. This thing's really in my way.
That's more than meets
That
the
is an
eye.
awesome triangle. Who likes my triangle, dude? Whoa.
That's a triangle.
I
What
Yes, that's a
happens?
triangle.
What happens when crackheads make a triangle?
Yeah, there's my triangle. Center ground. You're gonna go back to the windings of your transformer essentially, and then you're gonna come back on the hot. Through here, and then to the main, whatever that is, to trip that breaker. So you're gonna get your fault current. You're gonna complete the path. So in a weird way, it was good to have this sub panel bonded.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the only way that you're gonna be able to trip a ground fault.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we know, if we took a 20 amp breaker here in our panel, and we ran it to a ground rod at 25 ohms to ground, that's what the code would like, 25 ohms to ground. You do the math on that, you're not going to generate enough amperage to trip that 20 amp breaker. So all you're going to do, you're probably going to pull 5 to 7 amps, and then you're going to energize the ground in a gradient voltage, like where this is the ground rod here, you might have 120, and as you get further away, 100, and then 80. And then you got your touch to step ratio going on where you got somebody with bare feet or human feet, whichever one. And they're walking around. And then this foot's here on the 120, and then this foot's here on the 100. And you got 20 volts going across your junk there. That's no good.
I mean, it's no good for you because they'd be like going across nothing.
Bonded. Is it sub-grounded? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All right, so I started to draw this out, but then I got sidetracked earlier before the stream even started. We're gonna leave you with one more thing here. This one's pretty important, especially if you're a service technician. I always told customers this. Now, whenever you're a service technician, whether you like it or not, you're selling a product. The product is you. The product is your company. And you got to be able to explain what you're going to do. And that's all you're doing. You're just simply explaining the process. Just by explaining, you're selling, whether you like it or not. So you got 3 options, okay? First option, the breaker trips, which is what we had. Okay, after 3. Second option, the wire gets so hot that it opens itself up and we no longer pull that load, which is what we simulated. This thing's going to follow me, which is what we simulated. We cut the neutral in half to simulate that it got burnt in half. That's your second option. And then the load's no longer pulling, you're left in the dark. Third option is a fire. That's your options. So congratulate your homeowner when you get there and say, hey, congratulations, you got option 2. Because option 3 is obviously no good.
Yeah.
So you've got that. Also, electricity is like water and ice. Never use the word fire. It's a really shitty thing to do. Water and ice. You got 32-degree liquid. Now you got 32-degree ice. What changed? Not very much. You hold a lighter to paper, doesn't instantly combust. You give it about 4 or 5 seconds, gets up to temperature, then it catches fire. Electricity is like that. You don't know when you hit that flash point, and then it's all over.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to trip that breaker in 7 cycles. 60 cycles in a second. Anything more than that, increase the clearing time. When you're plotting a curve, you got your time, and you have your time, and you have your went blank. What do you have?
Temperature.
No, not temperature. You have your time, and it's amperage, but Yeah, there we go. You have your amperage.
All right.
And this would be in milliseconds. This is not in milliamps. This is in full blown amps. And this goes from 10,000 to 12,000 to 15 to 22 to 30 to 45, however it goes. And that's the way that goes. And this is in milliseconds. So we want to trip this seven cycles. As this goes like this and time increases, you start getting into the higher amperage. Your breaker is only rated at 10,000 amps. Your mains are rated at 22K. Your 240 volt commercial service equipment, usually 42. Sometimes usually 22, but your mains usually 42, 65, 100,000. Fuses are rated 200,000. The longer it takes to trip something, the more violent this explosion gets. That was a little tiny spark because we tripped that breaker fairly quickly. When that doesn't trip, you've got this rising up, which is why your transformers explode whenever they can't clear.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just driving that amperage up the longer it takes. So if you can explain that to somebody, maybe not the same way I did, I wouldn't recommend that. But that helps you sell jobs, whether you think it does or doesn't. You explain that to somebody, they already know, hell yeah, this is the guy that I want working in my house. So one more thing. This is what I say to people. Verbatim. If I can find a plug tester. Remember this outlet didn't work?
Yeah.
You plug this in. We never turn on the breaker. Plug this in. Oh, perfect. So our neutral is kind of loose inside this plug tester. It's a piece of crap. Even better, okay? What you're going to do, you plug this in. One of these plugs doesn't work. What you want to do, you want to start beating on the wall. And you want to be beating on this plug over here and looking over here and having your customer watch that plug. And as you move this around like this, what's going to happen is this light's going to flicker because you got a backstab plug because the no good person, so-and-so, backstabbed your plug. So you jiggle this, you start seeing flashing lights over there. And then you say this. You say, what we're going to do, we're going to start at this plug here. We're going to work our way backwards through your whole circuit. And just like I showed you how this plug is connected to this one, I can fix this plug for $50 and your dispatch fee is going to be $100 today. So you're going to be out $150 no matter what we do. But what's going to happen is that this plug here is going to be connected just like that plug, and so on. And I'm going to fix this plug and you're going to be happy for about 6 months. But what that current's going to do, it's going to find the next weakest connection. It's going to work its way back to the circuit. So regardless, one of us is going to work our way through the circuit. It's going to be your electricity. You're going to be without power. It's going to be me. And I'm going to fix it. I'm going to be able to guarantee it's fixed. I'm going to be able to warranty all my work. I can't warranty one plug because what's going to happen? You're going to call me back out here. This plug's not going to work because this plug stopped working now. And you got the same issue. So we're going to work our way through your whole circuit. We're going to guarantee our work. It's going to be warranted. And you know, you're going to start from the panel, work your way through the circuit. And when can I start? How does that sound to you? Diagnostics is $225. And as I work my way through the plugs, if they're not burnt up, I'll go ahead and tighten them up. You probably don't need any plugs. We just won't backstab them. We'll use what you have, and we will pigtail. We'll go through the circuit, but I got to cover my time. So your dispatch is $100. Our service plan is $100. It makes diagnostics affordable. Diagnostics goes from $250 to $183. Dispatch goes down to $70. for $400 today. You can have a service plan for a year. We're going to fix this whole circuit, guaranteed. And what's going to happen is, if I don't fix this today, this is going to break again. And I'm going to be a piece of shit to you, because at the end of the day, even though I told you it was going to happen, I was here and I charged you only $150 to fix this for 6 months, and your problem's still not fixed. And you're not going to call me back up because mentally, I didn't fix your problem. Even though I told you, your problem's still going to be your problem. And you're going to say, one, you're going to be embarrassed because you're not going to want to call me back out because I told you so. Or two, you're not going to realize what I was telling you, and you're not going to be happy with the way that it was fixed because you still had to pay $150. So you don't want to leave money on the table. And by explaining things, you're actually selling. And that's the best thing you can do for a customer, is to solve their problems. You're not coming back. They're not calling you back. They'll call you back for a different problem because you fixed it. So with that, I'm out.
Have a good one. And Mr. Bunny, don't let people do that to you. Glad you're okay though.
Paul W says chip a payment plan. You guys take it easy. We'll see you later. No warranty. No warranty because the plug's going to break again. 150, I can't warranty anything. That's the thing. We're going to go through the whole circuit for $400. You're going to know everything about that circuit, and it's going to be warranted. You're going to be paying $150 no matter what. You're going to get a service plan that makes diagnostics affordable for next time because you're going to have this problem on another circuit. I got to curb my time. It is what it is. We'll see you later.
Peace out.